I need to tell someone about what happened last Tuesday at Westfield. Writing it down helps me process it, I guess. I was at the mall around 8:45 p.m., trying to grab a phone charger from Best Buy before they closed at 9. The place was emptying out. Most stores had already pulled down their gates, and the food court was deserted except for the janitors mopping up. I got my charger and was heading toward the main exit when I noticed this guy behind me. Middle-aged, polo shirt, khakis. Looked like every other suburban dad. Nothing threatening about him at first, but he kept the exact same distance behind me. When I sped up, he sped up. When I slowed down, he slowed down. I took a detour through Macy's, which was still open, thinking maybe I was being paranoid. He followed me through Macy's. My chest got tight. I ducked into the bathroom there, stayed for maybe 5 minutes. When I came out, he was browsing ties about 20 feet away. Our eyes met for a second, and he smiled. Not a friendly smile, more like he was enjoying something. I practically ran out of Macy's back into the main mall corridor. Most of the lights were dimmed now. My footsteps echoed on the tile. So did his. I could see the exit ahead, maybe 200 feet. But then I heard him say, "Sarah, wait." My name isn't Sarah. I kept walking. He said it louder. "Sarah, I know it's you." I broke into a jog. He did too. "Sarah, we need to talk about what you did." The exit doors were those heavy glass ones. I slammed through them into the parking lot. My car was in Section D, pretty far out. The lot was mostly empty. A few scattered cars under those orange sodium lights. He burst through the doors behind me. "You can't keep running from this!" I sprinted. My keys were in my pocket, thank God. I could hear him gaining on me. He was faster than he looked. "You ruined my life," he screamed. "My kids won't even look at me." I reached my car, hands shaking so bad I dropped the keys, grabbed them off the asphalt. He was maybe 30 feet away now. "Please," he said, and his voice cracked. "Just admit what you did. Tell them the truth." I got the door open, threw myself in, locked it. He reached the car just as I started the engine. He pounded on the window. "I have proof." He pulled out his phone, holding it against the glass. There was a photo of a woman who looked similar to me, I guess. Same hair color, similar build, but it wasn't me. I threw the car in reverse, nearly hit him backing out. He stood there in the empty parking space, still holding up his phone, yelling something I couldn't hear anymore. I drove home a weird road, checking my mirrors constantly. Called my roommate from the car, told her to lock everything. Spent the night on her floor with a baseball bat next to me. I looked up Sarah and variations of what he'd said on social media the next day. Found a whole thing about some woman named Sarah Chen, who'd apparently falsely accused her neighbor of something serious. The neighbor's life fell apart. The woman in the photos did look like me. Same general features. But she lived 3 states away. I've been back to that mall once since then, in the middle of the day with friends. I don't go anywhere alone after dark anymore. I keep thinking about his face when he was pounding on my car window. How absolutely certain he was that I was her. The worst part is knowing he's still out there, probably still looking for his Sarah, and knowing that somewhere there's a woman who actually is Sarah, who has no idea someone's hunting for her. I think about warning her sometimes, but how do you even start that conversation? My roommate Jess thinks I should file a formal complaint. I probably should. But every time I try to explain what's happening, it sounds so... nothing. That's the problem. It started in September when I joined Professor Martinez's research lab. Trevor was the senior TA, PhD candidate, brilliant guy. Everyone loved him. He helped me set up my workstation, showed me around the lab, normal stuff. Then came the texts. Just helpful reminders at first. Don't forget lab meeting at 3. New papers posted on the server. But they came at weird times. 2 a.m., 5 a.m., during my other classes. I mentioned it to Jess after the 3rd week. She said maybe he was just awkward. Lots of STEM guys are. The texts got more personal. Saw you at the library. You looked stressed. That coffee shop you go to makes terrible lattes. Your Tuesday outfit was nice. I never told him my schedule. Never mentioned where I get coffee. Halloween weekend, the night we switched back to standard time, everything escalated. I was working late in the lab with Jess. She'd started coming with me after the weird texts. Around 1 a.m., my computer screen flickered. A message popped up in the terminal. You should go home. It's dangerous to walk alone after the time change. Neither of us had touched the keyboard. Jess grabbed my arm. We packed up fast. As we headed out, all the lights in the building went off except the emergency exits. Our phones died simultaneously. Not low battery. Completely dead. We ran. Got outside and our phones suddenly worked again. 53 missed calls. All from Trevor. The voicemails were just breathing. Monday morning, I found printed screenshots on my desk in the lab. My Instagram, my LinkedIn, my mom's Facebook, email drafts I'd never sent, search histories, dating app conversations from 2 years ago. Everything printed on department letterhead. No one else was in yet. I grabbed them all, shoved them in my bag. Jess was waiting outside. She wouldn't let me go alone anymore. Trevor walked in while I was packing up my station. Big smile. Morning. How was your weekend? Crazy about the time change, right? Always messes with the building systems. I told him I was switching labs. His face didn't change. That's too bad. Professor Martinez will be disappointed. You show such promise. The next day, my lab keycard stopped working. My university email started bouncing messages. My project files corrupted. IT said it looked like someone had been accessing my accounts from multiple IP addresses. Campus security said, without proof it was him, they couldn't do anything. The printed screenshots? No evidence they came from Trevor. The texts? From burner numbers. The computer message? No logs of it happening. Jess found me crying in our room after security basically shrugged me off. She went full detective mode. Turned out Trevor had done this before. 2 other girls had left the program suddenly. One transferred schools. The other dropped out entirely. We're building a case now. Jess has been recording everything, taking photos, keeping logs. She walks me everywhere. We've got 3 other women who've agreed to speak up. Turns out Trevor's mentorship followed a pattern. The university suddenly cares now that it's not just me. Last week, Trevor got suspended pending investigation. I saw him at the coffee shop yesterday, though. He waved, smiled, mouthed something I couldn't make out. Jess pulled me out of there fast. I check my devices constantly now. Change passwords daily. Jump when I get notifications. I hate that he's made me this paranoid person. I used to love research, loved the lab. Now I can't even look at a terminal window without my chest getting tight. The investigation is ongoing. Other women keep coming forward. Turns out I was lucky. Some of them have stories that make mine look tame. Jess says I'm brave for being the first to officially report it. I don't feel brave. I feel tired and angry and scared he's going to find another way in. But at least I'm not alone anymore. That's something. 4 weeks ago, my campus email coughed up an empty draft addressed to me. Subject line: I like the way you sit in the mezzanine. No body text, just the cursor blinking. I shrugged it off, some miscued phishing bot, I figured, and deleted it. 2 days later, the same subject line popped up as a push notification from an unknown number while I was in the mezzanine of the main library, headphones on, grinding through a GIS assignment. Same wording, no punctuation. My first jolt of that feeling, a little cold zip behind the ribs. I spun around. Nothing but rows of carols and the hiss of the HVAC. Since then, the messages have multiplied. Canvas inbox, Venmo request, for the way you sit. An airdrop attempt during lecture. Always the same sentence. Always arriving only in places where I'm physically present. Whoever it is, they're close enough to watch, and close enough to know when I look at a screen. I changed passwords, ran antivirus the works, filed an IT ticket. The tech brushed crumbs off his polo and told me it was probably just a bored CS kid. Campus police logged the incident and suggested I vary my schedule. Helpful. I stayed late because physics problem sets don't care about fear. The second floor cleared out fast. Finals are over, and the summer session kids mainly study in their dorms. By 9:45, the only other person in sight was the night circulation supervisor, Frank, shelving returns behind the desk. At 9:55, the overhead chime binged twice. The library will close in 5 minutes. I stuffed my laptop in my bag and headed for the stairwell. Halfway down, my phone vibrated. I like the way you sit in the mezzanine. Received via campus Wi-Fi messenger app I didn't know existed. I froze on the landing. The mezzanine was 1 floor above, right above the stairwell, in fact. I pictured someone leaning over the rail with their phone, thumb poised. Panic check. Heart 140-ish. Breath short. Palms sweaty. No actual danger yet. Keep moving. Ground floor. I pushed the crash bar on the east exit. It didn't budge. A laminated sign I'd never noticed before read, "After 10 p.m., please use main entrance. Main entrance, Eagle West side, through the lobby." Fine. Crossed the atrium, past the huge glass cube display about media literacy. The lobby doors were already pulled across. Metal accordion gates locked together. Frank must have closed them early. I rattled the gate. It clanged but held. Lobby lights dimmed to night mode, turning the marble floor into a black mirror. In that mirror, I saw someone up in the mezzanine, silhouetted by the emergency exit sign, leaning on the rail. They raised a hand and wiggled their fingers. It would have been funny in any other context. Find Frank. Call 911. Fire alarm. Hide. Option 2 first. My phone showed 3 bars of Wi-Fi, but no internet connection. Cell signal. 1 flickering bar. Enough for a call if the gods were kind. I hit 911. Call failed. Tried again. Failed. Airplane on. Off. Nothing. Option 1. Frank's desk was back on 2. That meant passing under whoever enjoyed watching me sit. But Frank had keys. Up the stairs again, slower than before, trying to look casual because prey that bolts gets chased. Tick of shoes on linoleum. Not mine. Someone descending the opposite stairwell. I hustled the last 10 steps and ducked into the stacks. My breath sounded loud enough to shelve itself. Another message buzzed, this time via airdrop request. Sit. My own avatar as the sender. I glimpsed motion through a gap between shelf rows. Khaki pants, red hoodie pulled up. The figure walked with that unhurried confidence of someone who already owns the space. Frank's desk lamp glowed at the far end like a lighthouse. No Frank. Just his Steelers mug and a half-eaten granola bar. Keys hung from a hook. I crouched behind the desk, reached up, hooked the ring silently. The PA crackled. Library closed. Doors are now secured. Secured. As in, magnetic locks engaged. As in, even Frank's keys wouldn't pop them because the system ties into campus security after hours. I swallowed a hysterical laugh. I'd done my freshman orientation tour. I knew this. I'd just never cared. I tried calling campus security anyway. Straight to voicemail. The red hoodie padded between reading tables, head swiveling. They weren't tall, maybe my height, but moved with a wrestler's center of gravity. I texted 3 friends in a group chat. The bubbles stayed gray. Wi-Fi up, but it looked like DNS poison. Whoever set this trap might have spoofed the network. Think small, think immediate. Fire alarm poles are next to stairwells. I edged along the carpet, keeping stacks between us. Red hoodie paused to check their phone. Who the hell checks their phone mid-hunt? Then angled toward my aisle. I ducked sideways into oversized reference. Wrong turn. Dead end. I pressed back against folios of European art, spine corners stabbing my shoulder blades. Step, step, step. Khaki fabric brushed shelf ends. I shifted weight to sprint. Pop, my knee cracked. Sound like a cap gun. Hoodie froze. I could hear them sniffing the air. They whispered, "Sit." Not a shout. Not a question. Just an instruction tossed into space. The voice was gender neutral, calm, like a yoga teacher easing you into corpse pose. I bolted, grazing a cart so hard it overturned. Folios thundered to the carpet. I hit the stairwell at speed, jumped 2 steps. Behind me a grunt, then pounding footsteps. Locked fire door at bottom. Safety code only unlocks outward in fire. This one opened inward. I swore, swung through the first floor stacks, winded now. Automatic lights blinked on a half-second too late everywhere I went, announcing me in ripples. Another airdrop. Lost something? With a photo of my keyring, Frank's keys, dangling from Hoodie's fingers. I dropped them somewhere. Classic me. I ducked into the rare books reading room. Heavy oak door, analog deadbolt inside. Thank God an actual key was still in the lock. I slammed, twisted, pulled the key out. Silence except my pulse thudding between my ears. Old page smell. Faint bleach. Overhead, a single green-shaded banker lamp glowed. I dragged a chair against the door for placebo security. Phone again. Same sender, video request. Against judgment, I accepted. Grainy CCTV angle of inside the rare books room. High corner camera I'd never noticed. Showing me pushing the chair. Live feed. Someone had admin privileges on library security. I flipped the camera so they saw my face. "Why?" I whispered, voice gone toddler thin. They texted back instantly. "Sit in the mezzanine." Under that, sit anywhere. Just sit. The chair I'd braced against the door suddenly scraped forward half an inch. Either air pressure shift or a shove from the other side. I yanked open a glass-fronted bookcase, felt inside. Heavy leather-bound folio, weighty enough. Adrenaline-erased librarians will murder me consequences. Door handle rattled, then stopped. The little square security window went dark, blocked by something. Probably Hoodie's hand. Thump. Then nothing. The camera feed cut. I stayed frozen longer than I can measure. Eventually, I crept to the window. Empty hallway stretching both directions. fluorescents humming. I tried the campus police again. This time the call rang. They picked up on the third beep. While dispatch kept me talking, a building engineer remote killed the maglocks. 2 officers arrived 13 minutes later. Eternity math. A lifetime. They found no one but me. Footage from lobby cameras conveniently corrupted between 9:40 and 10:30. Wi-Fi logs wiped. Frank swore he never closed early. He'd stepped outside for a smoke and came back to alarms, my screams, and every exit unresponsive. His keys were discovered on the mezzanine rail, neatly hooked where I'd first seen the silhouette. Police wrote everything down. It promised a deep dive. Everyone was very professional. I'm typing this from my dorm, knees jittering. They told me the library system logged a single user ID accessing the security network tonight. Mine. They think I pranked myself for attention or stress relief. I didn't. Obviously. Mom wants me to come home for a bit. I might. But finals grades post next week, and I need the library's quiet. Maybe if I sit somewhere else. For now, my desk chair is against the door, back pressed to it. I haven't moved in an hour.